Well, hello everyone. We are out here in Berea on day 2 of Brown's minicamp, and it was a big day today because Johnny Manziel finally spoke. He broke his silence for the first time since the end of last season, and for the first time since he has spent 10 weeks in rehab. So we finally got a chance to talk to Johnny Manziel, but lo and behold, he did not want to talk at all about the past. He did not give any details whatsoever about his rehab, why he was there, what he needed to be in for, or any of those things. He wants to close the chapter on Johnny football, and he's laying to rest the money sign, Tom.
Yeah, it's almost like the cartoonish element of Johnny Manziel. He's trying to strip that away and really focus on football. And I think that's important for him because this is a huge year coming up for him as far as his development and I think future with Cleveland Browns.
And you know, he really regrets the fact that that it was all about Johnny last year, that it was one distraction after another, that they couldn't just focus on football, that all of his teammates had to be asked about him constantly, and he wants to put an end to all that noise.
Yeah, and I thought he was very good about saying that, look, he got into that hype. He let the Johnny football persona overtake him, and now he's got to try to rein that back in and just focus on the game.
And he admitted that last year for him was a disaster. He was especially talking about his performance on the field. He said obviously that's the most important thing, and so that's what he's focusing on right now, is trying to get the football part right.
Yeah, and we've seen it unfortunately with the Browns quarterbacks. Look, he's not going to have a long window. I can't imagine if Johnny doesn't play this year that he's going to go into a third year, Mary Kay. We know how this works. They'll be looking for other quarterbacks. So this is a huge, huge year for him.
You know what? On one hand, Tom, I agree with you. On the other hand, I also think that they are looking at this year in some ways as an opportunity for him to learn the game of football, to learn this new scheme. And I think, how many times does Ray Farmer say to us, look at Aaron Rodgers. He had to sit for 3 years behind Brett Favre before he got his opportunity. So I do think this is a big year for Johnny in terms of staying on the straight and narrow path and learning the game of football. Speaking of the football part of it, it seems to me like he's starting to come around.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really hard to kind of judge right now because they're not going against opponents. But Mike Pettin said that he's seen improvement in Johnny, picking up things, and it's got to be difficult. One of the things again that this year, a new system. Johnny was just learning that system at the end of last year. Now he's got to learn a new system. So I think it's going to be, we won't be able to get a good judge on things until training camp.
No, we won't. And even then, I think it'll be difficult because the thing that people have to understand, he's working with the second and third team offense in some cases.
Yeah.
When we saw him drop some snaps the other day, that was against like a third team center. So you never really know how he'll do against the Dwayne Bowe, working with the Dwayne Bowes and the Brian Hartlines, because he might not get that chance. We do know that Josh McCown will head into training camp status quo. He will be taking those first team reps, and it will probably stay that way.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny just has to, as we were talking about, continue to work, try to hone his craft. And Mary Kay, let's face it, at some point, and we've seen this every year, either something's going to go wrong, Josh might get hurt. Johnny's going to get a chance to play this year. I can't imagine him not getting on the field.
You know what? You're right about that. He very well might. But in the meantime, he is all about forgetting about the distractions, trying to do the right thing. I think more so about one day at a time, just trying to do all the things that he learned in rehab and not be the Johnny football that got him into so much trouble last year. And that's it from Brown's minicamp in Berea.